driving all the Porsches under the rainbow, you've gotten a real feel for them. We're going to Diamond Head. You got some people waiting for you there. I believe you've made quite an impression on some of Porsche's big shots. Face-up will be tough, so get ready.
Welcome. I'm glad you could join. This is Jake, our test driver on the island. Fancy a little showdown? This is your ride. And don't worry about scratching the car this time. Just drive as you please.
time. You haven't claimed your reward for this playlist.
We started.
A surprise, we had to choose one car to give you from the Porsche lineup.
And I was like half an hour into the up, like just going up the hill, guys, like just zigzagging my way up like a little goat path, like really going up the mountain. And I was like, when is the finish coming? Or like, when is the end of this hill? And he's like, oh man, you're not even halfway through. And I'm like, how is this possible? That's hard enduro, I would say.
What's happening, guys and girls? My name is Becky Evans and welcome to Motorfest, the podcast.
As you may have just found out, trying to pick a favourite is incredibly tough. But we did it! Congratulations! Your very own Porsche 911 Carrera 4S. Top of the line and ready to hit the roads.
Brought to you by Red Bull and Ubisoft's iconic game, the Crew Motorfest. Now, this is the podcast where I get to chat to some of the world's finest motorsport athletes. and dig into their passion for all things speed, wings and wheels. And if you haven't already tried it, you can actually listen to the podcast whilst you're playing the game. Today I'm going to be chatting with a professional motorcycle rider, Manuel Lettenbichler. He's one of the very best in the world and he's an absolute champion. Born and raised in southern Germany where he's currently based, Manny has been competing for Red Bull Racing Factory since 2016, following in the footsteps of his father Andreas Lettenbichler, who was a highly successful KTM racing athlete who was top 3 in the world. Manny got his first trial bike aged 5 and at age 16 he was the youngest rider to ever complete the Red Bull Scramble Hare Race, which is a one-day race which is actually the most difficult in the world. He was Super Enduro Junior Champion in 2016 and since then he has brought home the Hard Enduro Championship 4 times. If you don't know what Hard Enduro is, this is a sport where you actually tackle the most extreme terrain. We're talking rocks, we're talking mountains.
Acerca banyak sih.
To the interview. This is a sport where you actually tackle the most extreme terrain. We're talking rocks, we're talking mountains, we're talking off-road in its most...
Back to where we left off.
The islands in the south of Hawaii are hosting the most surprising competition I have ever seen.
You said it, John. What's happening there is spectacular. Festival goers have been forging their own track for a month now. And
they sure did. Some could challenge even the finest professional circuits out there, while others make me feel like I'm on a roller coaster.
it's just the perfect playground to unleash our creativity and let our cars shine.
In 2023, Manny made history by completing the first perfect season in the FIM Hard Enduro World Championship. Now, this is a feat that's only been completed by Manny and Max Verstappen in motorsport history today. So, is it luck, talent, or is it a bit of both? Let's find out. Manny, welcome to the show.
Thanks. Stoked to be here.
So, whereabouts in the world are you right now?
Just in Salzburg right now in Austria. Actually spending a bit of time now in the Athlete Performance Center of Red Bull because I torn one ligament at the second last round of the World Championship and trying to keep myself busy with something else than riding, let's say it like this way.
It's been a while since I've seen you. I think the last time was, what, Goodwood in about 2018?
Yes, Goodwood, 2018, I think. It's been actually a while. I wanted always to come back again because it's such a cool motorsport festival and there's so much stuff going on and yeah, it's been a while when we met for sure, but stoked to see you again and talk hopefully about some cool stuff.
Let's jump right in. If you could be a car, a plane, a boat, or a motorbike, which would you be and why?
I think like a plane probably, but like a cool plane, you know, maybe like a fighter plane or like a stunt plane to be pretty sick. I was like doing one flight one time with Red Bull, like in a stunt plane.
Looks like you don't have any of this week's vehicles. Don't worry, driver. You can get one with the weekly bundle, or simply buy one in the shop. Remember, activities played with these vehicles will give an XP bonus.
And it was so cool. Like, it was probably one of the best experiences I ever had. Because we just went like doing loopings, like all of these rows, like really jumped straight into it, and I even could fly the plane. So
wow.
Yeah, it was quite a cool experience, and I think we're so used to the dirt and the ground that I think to be a plane, like being flying around wherever you want, I think is like a pretty cool idea to have in the head.
Is that something that you've always been into? You know, like to go from riding bikes, getting into hard enduro, that's... podcast continues.
But I think if I was invincible and I could be young forever, I'd probably still be trying to jump further distance records with the bike the way it is. But for me, there's one goal left for me, and that's all I'm working on. So I'm not here to replicate nothing, to do shows around the world. I think those days for me are gone. I just want to do my masterpiece, right? That's all I'm working on is my masterpiece, and then I'm done.
My name's Becky Evans, and welcome to Motorfest, the podcast, brought to you by Red Bull and the iconic game from Ubisoft, the Crew Motorfest. Now, this is the podcast where I get to chat with some of the world's finest motorsport athletes, and I get to delve into their passions of all things speed, wings, and wheels. And you know what the cool thing is? You can actually listen to this podcast whilst you're playing the game. So jump into your dream vehicle, sit back and relax, and get ready for the show. Let's go. Now that is the sound of the KTM 450 motorbike that you can actually play in the game. Now this bike has got you covered on road, dirt, sand, and even on water, thanks to the very special Motor Surf edition, which has been designed by the athlete that I am joined by today, Robbie Madison. Robbie, thank you so much for having me here at your home. podcast is back on, our guest still has plenty of things to say. Hey, Robbie Madison. Robbie, thank you so much for having me here at your home.
No worries, Becky. It's an absolute pleasure, and I'm super excited to have my bike in the game, the Crew Motorfest.
No, delighted. I mean, you are a freestyle motocross champion, legend, like absolute pioneer of the sport, and to actually see this place.
Okay, this time no one's gonna cut me off. I'm not saying anything. You people can sync up.
I've seen so many videos of it. It was kind of crazy when we were driving in.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm very blessed. It's
Go ahead, guys. You can do your thing.
been an amazing career, and I've been able to do incredible things. Red Bull has literally given me wings, and
No one?
it's been amazing to say the least of it. And this house has became home, and it's the dream that I envisioned. And now I get to ride dirt bikes here. I get to share with my kids, and this is home base for all these crazy ideas, and then we come back here and refocus, reset, and set off on our ways to take on more adventures.
Now, you started off, in New South Wales in Australia. You were an electrician to begin with, and then you found freestyle motocross. You've done backflips over Tower Bridge in London. You've jumped over, it's the Arc de Triomphe in Las Vegas. I mean, just so many incredible jumps. I remember seeing the video of you doing the ski jump as well. You're a record breaker and a dream chaser. Do you think I've missed anything out there? I mean, there's so many...
All right, driver. Looks like it's finally you and me again. Great. So this next race is extra special.
Hey, friend, what's up? Man, you delivered a flawless performance against our rivals so far. These guys are getting hit real hard. So the next race is a toge. And you know what that means. Intense and technical.
You've done your career, but those are the ones that, even as a fan myself, that really jump out.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, there's been a lot, but one of the coolest things for me is inventing the motorcycle to ride on the water. Just because I grew up at the beach in Australia, I grew up surfing. If I hadn't been a motorcycle rider, I would have been a surfer. And
plus, it starts from the highest point of the mountain. It's not a race to take lightly.
To be able...
The same goes for our opponents, apparently. Meticulous racers and reliable machines. Or so I've heard.
To combine the two of my...
Keeps getting better, doesn't it? We'll see you on the top of Maui, friend.
Two favorite things to do is a dream come true. So it just, one day it just kind of hit me that I could make it right on the water with addition of like some wakeboards under the wheels, and I've seen a lot of people copy it, and it's something that works, and to be able to take it on a wave was just insane. But I'm excited that you get to do it in the game now. The users are going to be able to ride their bikes in Maui and catch waves and feel some of the excitement I felt. So I'm really stoked with Motorfest and the crew. It's awesome that it's done this way.
So, Robbie, if you could be a car, a plane, a boat, or a motorbike, which would you be and why?
I would definitely be a plane. I just love flying. It's all I've wanted to do, and I think that's why motorbikes became so cool to me, because it was catching these little moments of being able to fly. And as I've got older, I've jumped further and further and further. And now that I'm a pilot and I'm able to fly, it's just the coolest thing ever. And yeah, if I had the choice, I'd be a plane, because you can go wherever you want to go.
I saw a quote where you were talking about how your mind is like Tetris, and you're just trying to put it all together and figure out how to create new crazy stunts. Like, how does one thing become from dream to reality?
I think
as I was saying,
ultimately it's just...
Well, actually, these guys have pretty much said it all, so I'm kind of lost now.
Figuring out...
I'm gonna have to recalibrate again.
The path of how to get there. For the most part, when I designed the bike to go on the water, the dream was to always ride it on the water. And, I had the dream for a long time, and just one day it clicked. And I think it's been like that with a few things, wanting to... When I jumped on the building in Las Vegas, I knew I didn't want to just keep doing distance jumps, and I knew I wanted to do something that was a cool spectacle, and it wasn't about just having a jump and putting things in between it, like Fonzie did with the shark tanks and like Evil did with the buses. That was cool, but it had already been done. I wanted to do something different, and that's really all I did. I just set my intention. I kind of put out of the universe that I wanted to find something different, and I just stopped thinking about it. I stopped worrying about it. I just had the thought that if it's meant to be, it'll come to me, and if it's not, then it's not meant for me. And once I just kind of let go in that way and stopped putting pressure on myself to come up with something, and just went about being engaged in the moment of my life, then all of a sudden it just hit me again.
I mean, They could ask me before barging in like that.
No.
It's not like I'm a freaking robot.
Driving past the
Uh-oh.
hotel,
Recalibrating.
I was on the freeway,
To Haleakala. Let's go.
and I just saw the hotel passing by, and I just realized with the speed I had and the right ramp, that I could jump on top of that hotel. And then I had the idea, I'm like, with the right ramp, with the right speed, I could jump onto a big building and I could jump off of it. And so that's how it went. I think a lot of the ideas for me, just come through letting go of the stress of trying to figure it out and just going about living my life and enjoying what I love. And then all of a sudden these new ideas come, and that's led me to my current thing that I'm working on. I have a new idea, and it's just come from me doing what I love. And I've been flying airplanes, I've been wingsuiting, I've been skydiving, and it's inspired me to go in a different direction again. So it's exciting.
Yeah, let's talk about that. I mean, your next frontier, we're talking aerospace. You want to see your bike take to the skies. Walk me through what that looks like.
Well, it's a little early yet. I mean, that is the goal. I mean, I've been in the skies with my bike since I've been a little kid, and just to try and go further and farther is just the goal. And ultimately, the last time I did a world record jump, I landed so hard that my front wheel exploded and I ruptured my back, from jumping so far. I ruptured 2 discs in my back. So I know that it needs to be aerodynamic, and I've learned that a long time ago. Just finding the right team and finding, like you said before, it's like a Tetris, right? So it's not just about me and the team, it's about all the other elements. So I'm working on that. I'm not exactly sure what it looks like, but...
You're almost there. About to face the last team of street racers that recently joined Motorfest.
I am very hard at work, and I'm hoping to be able to unearth it here shortly. So there'll be more on that to come when things get a little bit more planned. But for now, it's just, in the planes, flying. I just got the new wingsuit, the Freak, so it's the biggest wingsuit that they have, and I haven't flown it yet, so I'm excited to get out in that thing. And you're literally like a bird. It's from when you skydive, you can kind of, it's different shapes kind of control how you fall in the sky, and in a wingsuit, obviously you're in the suit, so if one arm is extended out further on a different angle than the other arm, you'll start to turn a certain way. So you really have to be flying this shape of like an aircraft, like a bird. And it's so insane, because when I was a kid and I ever had like spare change and I'd throw it into the pond or into a fountain, I'd always make a wish. You make a wish in the wishing well. So I'd always wish that I could fly, and it's come true. It's really has. I honestly feel like when I jump out of a hot air balloon in a wingsuit, I'm like literally flying, and it's the coolest thing. You have to face your fears to live your dreams, and one of the biggest fears I had was heights, and just the integrity of the parachute. And I didn't mind free falling, but when I pulled the parachute and I had these strings coming off me holding this canopy up, I just didn't have faith in that. But after I did my accelerated free fall course and I learned how to pack a parachute, I kind of understood the technology of it and I got faith in it. And so now I kind of got over a fear. And to me, that's one of the most liberating things in my life is like, people say they have fears. I think one of the coolest things to do is to face your fears and get past them, understand them and address them and work through it. Because if you just say, I have a fear and I'll never go there, then you're just limiting yourself. So if you're humble and bold enough and courageous enough to, address it and be honest with yourself and go through the uncomfortable part of like dealing with it and getting past it, then you open up a whole new meaning of life and new experiences.
I mean, absolutely, just even looking at your track record of things. I mean, when you are planning a new stunt, I feel like you look at it in a way that it's not just the actual outcome of being able to achieve it. You're looking at the physics and the geometry of it and how you actually achieve it in a physical way.
Yeah, I think for everything I've done, like a lot of people say, who designs these things for you? Who does it? And it's like, it's me, So I think you have to have that, and it's not like all me, but it's like me as far as like I'm driving the bus. And I have someone else navigating for me, and the person navigating is usually smarter and more experienced and knows it. But it's ultimately, it's my call on where we go and which turns we make and what it looks like and what the ultimate, the decision, the final decisions is usually in my hands.
Of all of the stunts that you've done, I mean, we've got the backflip over Tower Bridge. in Las Vegas. We had the Arc de Triomphe, even the long ski jump. Is there any of them that you particularly think, yeah, that's the one where I really thought I've done an amazing job here?
I think the jump on and off the Arc de Triomphe in Las Vegas was so like rattling for me as a human. And what it ultimately came to was that this is what I dreamed about doing my entire life. And if I didn't have the courage to follow through with this, then I'm just never going to know what my life could have been, you know? And so I'd always dreamt of this opportunity to be on a spectacle like Evel Knievel, you know? That's what I really dreamt of as a kid. I wanted to have an opportunity to do world-stopping stunt where the world's watching and be able to push through it. And now I had that opportunity. I had to decide whether I was going to let fear stop me, because a lot of the people involved with the production were like, this is so crazy, we can't believe you're doing it. And they would like reassure me, there's no one here from our department that's putting pressure on you. If you don't want to do this, we totally get it. You don't have to do this. And I was like, no, I actually have to do this to answer my own question. And so that's what I realized through all my digging, was that this is more of like a question of myself. And now it's time for me to figure out if it's meant to be or not. And I had total faith and total belief that if it's meant to be, it'll be. And if it wasn't, well, then that was just how my life was meant to go. And I had total peace with that, you know. So I was really calm before I did the jump, knowing that, you know, I think the practical side of my head I had to turn off. So the fear side of things, I had to like just stop listening to it, because it was like driving me insane. And I was like sick before, like literally vomited, thinking about that kind of stuff. So eventually I got to the point where my own psychosis was like making me physically sick, so I had to just turn that off. So that made me that's where the meditating came in, because I had to like turn my mind off. And it's so freeing to like just not have this internal voice anymore, because I had it going on my whole life, and now I don't have it anymore. But it took me a long time to quiet my mind. It's like literally something you have to work at very hard. And then obviously when I landed and it pulled off, I was like, well, it was meant to be, you know? And I think that was a prerequisite for my mentality, because then when I got on the motorcycle in the water and I'm out at Chopu and the waves are 20-foot faces and I'm like on a dirt bike in the water, I'm thinking, oh man, this is a stupid idea. And when that wave crashed down in front of me, that was this heaviest moment of my life. And it was 10 times, you know, and even when I jumped the Corinth Canal, you know, the fear of facing to jump the canal was worse than in Vegas. So Vegas was really, and then the jumps before, but everything's been a prerequisite to get me to the next one, to the next one, to the next one. And whatever you do, whatever skill you want to harness, is when you sharpen a knife, you see it get sharper. And so it's nice to have a sharp knife.
It's very impressive. I will say, whenever I'm sat at the start line in my drift car about to compete, I'm like, I know how to do this. I know, you know what you're doing. You know which gears you're going in. And then like, just like you said, that little voice like, yeah, but what if you spin? What if you don't downshift at that point? And I'm like, shut up. It's fine. Everything's going to be totally fine. You're famous for pushing boundaries and setting new records. So how are you refining your bikes to help you achieve these? That's
a tough question. I'm working towards my own goals. I think if I was invincible and I could be young forever, I'd probably still be trying to jump further distance records with the bike the way it is. But for me, there's one goal left for me, and that's all I'm working on. So I'm not here to replicate nothing, to do shows around the world. I think those days for me are gone. I just want to do my masterpiece, right? That's all I'm working on, is my masterpiece, and then I'm done. So I'm not really in it for the long haul, but I think manufacturers are doing a great job. The bikes are getting better every year. Obviously, we are on the brink of the electric era, and that's going to change the game for everyone, whether they like it or not. But I think the exciting side of it is the electric side of it brings a lot more power. It's instant, and the characteristics of the bike become a lot different. So we're already seeing like guys like Patrick Evans rides a bike, and when he does a whip, he's able to get on angles that we've never seen before.
Because of the weight, maybe, of the battery, or?
It's because there's less gyro with the engine, so it allows the bike to roll quicker. And then because there's no gearbox, and you're able to hit the throttle, and it does like the full rotation of the back wheel, so that when you snap the throttle, you don't have to go through the gears to get the maximum RPM out of the back wheel. So with the twist of the throttle, that back wheel goes from stop to wide open in fifth gear in a few seconds in the electric version. So when you're able to whip the bike upside down, that inertia that the back wheel creates instantly creates that inertia. So you're able to kind of use that to twist you back into shape quickly. So Patrick's been able to learn better than anyone else so far to get his bike upside down and use that electric inertia that he's created from the rear wheel to set him straight again. So that's changing the game, and I think the incorporation of electric bikes is going to just make differences. But for what I've done, distance jumping, jumping on buildings, stuff like that, I don't know, I wanted to raise the bar to a certain height and then step out, and I feel like I've done that for the most part, and there's just one more masterpiece to hang on the wall, and then I'm going to follow my kids around and do what they want to do. So it's, but, I just hope to be able to be an ambassador and support these other kids coming up. Part of my vision is to be able to support the Robbie Madisons of the future.
Yeah.
And I don't really want it to be my kids, but it seems like they have their own ideas in mind, so I might be supporting them. But I just want to support athletes and help them create these moments that I've been lucky enough to have. The Red Bull's been so great to me, like giving me these platforms to have these show-stopping moments. And so I want to be an advocate for that and try and help people create those scenarios for themselves.
Well, we talked a lot about dreams during our chat. Let's talk about dream vehicles. Now, my dream vehicle is a 66 Chevy Nova with a big rock in it. I would love to be able to drive that down Pacific Coastal Highway and just live out my entire American car. That's the film Graffiti. That was what I grew up watching when I was a kid. So that's my dream vehicle. So let's imagine that it's your lucky day right now. You've got the choice of any bike that you could ride, and you get to take someone with you. What would you choose? Where would you go? And who would you take?
I'd want the fastest bike.
Talking MotoGP bikes or something?
Yeah. A bike that I rode, but I didn't get to ride it too much. I was just a Grand Marshal for Evel Knievel's 50th anniversary jump, and I got to ride the Triumph Rocket, and it's a 2,400 and something cc's, biggest engine they make on a motorcycle. I'd like to get that thing wide open. It seems so fast. If I was to be able to dream here for a second, I'd like something like that with an aero kit around it. So I'm not really a big fan of going fast and having the wind smash in your face. I like the wind going around you.
Yeah.
So I really like riding the baggers, because the baggers have the whole big fairing at the front, and you got room to put your stuff in the bags, and you can kind of put supplies and food and drinks and whatever and go for a ride and have the wet weather gear and warm gear, whatever it is. But I'd take my wife, obviously, and I'd go to somewhere private. I'd ride to a hot spring or to a waterfall.
Aside from motorbikes, motorcycles, have there been any other memorable vehicles that you've tried and tested?
Yeah, I always loved hydrofoils, I think they're called, like hovercrafts.
Mm-hmm. So they're really cool.
Yeah, I like them. Things that are amphibious just intrigue me, and I think that's why I was so stoked when I made the bike to be amphibious. It was like the coolest thing to be able to ride on the land and then ride onto the water and keep going. It's still a trip to me now, but it was just one of the coolest things I've ever achieved, was to be able to have that realization. So.
Man, we really should change our radio frequency.
I know, sorry about the intrusion. Heard you people defeated all your opponents so far. That's quite a tally. Anyways, we're all stoked to be facing you. May the best team win. Over and out.
How about that?
Watch out, guys. I foresee a very mean curve at the end of the straightaway.
Curve's deadly.
Yeah, I expect lots of razor-sharp turns peppered with short straights on these mountain roads.
Not to mention the 200-foot drop if you miss any of them. Just the way we like it.
Looks like our opponents are the real deal. But it's quite bold of them to think they could beat Japanese racers in a toge.
Well, cats are known for being cocky.
Remember our last toge driver? It was you against me then. Don't you forget, it's all about drifting. Oversteer while maintaining control for a high exit speed. We told you that the Skyline GTRs were called Godzilla. Well, that R32 you're driving was the first one to earn that name. This is the original monster, and its victory streaks are beyond compare.
I'm gonna make it simple. For years, that car was unstoppable on the Japanese car racing scene. The R32 changed the rules and left everyone in the dust for years.
It was created to beat the shit out of everyone. And it did. We're closing in, guys. Focus till the end.
No matter what, this race belongs to one of our two Skylines.
Incredible race, spectacular driver.
Invincible car.
All right, let's keep talking.
You'd be able to ride on the land and then ride onto the water and kick.
Hey friend, tell me, isn't your car a little emotional? Got an email from her kind of asking us to stop interrupting her job. She seemed a little pissed, saying that even robots can have feelings, stuff like that. Well, I guess we kind of overstepped here.
An AI making a scene. Wow. Peak modernity right there.
Anyway, we'll let her tell you about the grand finale. See you on the grid, my friend.
Well, these guys weren't supposed to mention this to you, but... Never mind. Okay, driver. Things are finally back to normal. So you've taken out each and every group of opponents. But it turns out that each team still has an ace up their sleeve. Every group is calling on their champion for this final race, the Battle Royale. Who's going to be chosen to be the PAX champion? Made in Japan 2, final struggle. And you are up.
beat them all already? Just the lower ranks, apparently. Now each team is playing their trump card.
Good kiddies. Check out these cars, man. They're clearly bigger cats.
Doesn't matter, does it? These guys are still cats. We are dragons. Okay, driver. This is a battle royale between the 5 street racing teams. Only one member of each group gets to race, and you're the one racing for the pack.
Ugh, lucky.
Officially passing the torch, big brother?
Just this one time.
Oh my god. Goosebumps. Literally.
You can drive Wengen style on that speedway, which means really fast. Just watch out in these tunnels.
Does that car ring a bell, driver? We spoke about it in the Liberty Walk playlist. This is the Liberty Walk version of the 92 Honda NSX. Oh, man. Yeah, that's Shingo's dream car. Basically the same NSX as he always drives, except for this one's been in the hands of the master Wataru Kato, which brings it to a whole new level. I want to drive that car. Yeah, you and me both, brother.
Got it, driver? That car's a unicorn.
For the firepower contest that is the final race, this special NSX will do nicely.
You got this. Do not give them an inch.
You win this race, my friend, and it'll be an overwhelming victory for the pack. That's what we're shooting for, right?
Always.
Looks like you guys are for real after all. You run this made in Japan thing. Now come and get us out there. See what happens.
Sounds like an invitation, friend.
It's time to reap your reward. Your vehicle is ready for you to claim. Outstanding victory. You and your partners entirely dominated that street brawl. Way to go, Dragons! Let's head back to the container to get your prize. In the meantime, here's a piece of information. You've won the first encounter, but the rivals are not going anywhere. They're staying here in Hawaii, and they'll be waiting for a rematch with you. So once you've completed this playlist, you can find them in free drive, challenge them again, and establish your supremacy as a street racer, once and for all.
Hey, is it okay if I talk? Your car's not gonna get mad, is she?
Yeah, it's okay, I guess.
All right, I'll make it short. You did a hell of a job back there, my friend. You're definitely one of us, and we're counting on you to defeat these guys again. You represent the pack. These cats are gonna understand that we're the prevailing street racing team around here. Catch you next time.
Bye! Oh, aren't these guys cute? I may have overreacted a little. So don't forget, once you've got your reward, check in the menu, and you'll see a whole new rival-related activity. This is just the beginning. To unbox your brand new Honda NSX Liberty Walk Edition.
tale of America the only way it can be told. Finish with a flourish and you might get to live out the American dream.
Listen up, you buff forces.
New challenges unlocked.
The Clawblades are a good choice. A cocky bunch, but competent. Gotta start somewhere. He's called Flash because he's fast, obviously, but his name is... Ricky? Beat him, and he will lead you to his crew's chief. Just one more step up the pyramid. Beat him, and he will lead you to his crew's chief. Just one more step up the pyramid.
Target locked. Let's go.
Going after the claw blades? Well, you chose the wrong place to start, buddy. I might not be chief, but I'm the most experienced. What I'm saying is, you're toast, buddy.
It's like it never happened.
say. The Clawblade Chief goes by the name The Lion.
New challenges unlocked.
Most of the claw blades are quite vain and get flustered if they start to lose. Use it.
Kara, reporting for duty, driver. Here for you, driver.
Most of the claw blades are quite vain and get flustered if they start to lose. Use it.
what it takes to take me on. Cute. This is gonna be fun. For me. Blades have a chief. He's cocky, but he's a pretty mean driver. Nick at his confidence, and he'll crumble.
Lots of infighting with the Claw Blades.
the courage to try the Diamond Fangs. I respect this. Or are you just risking it? I need to report to the chief when I beat you, okay? told you, if you win, I spill the beans. Is that the expression? So here goes.